Welcome to part 2, or the second chapter of the Oracle's recalling of the prophecy of the blinded sun. Today we're going to watch my fish because I don't know what to make you watch yet. I haven't got any illustrations yet, Renee. Anyway, I have a high fucking class illustrator, y'all. You don't even have any idea about that shit yet. He's coming out to be the star of the show, y'all. He's a pretty cool fish. His name is Sasuke Shihoin. Sasuke Shihoin. Alright, so the next part of the story. Most mortals, nay, most entities, would have given up. They would have fallen to their knees and died of a broken will. They would have ceased to exist. But the blinded sun had two things. She had destiny. Her fate was written. And she had an iron will. She did not even consider giving up once. So this kid, this child, who has absolutely no experience in the land of the living, there's not a single entity that's alive, or, oh, not alive, clearly, no entity that exists that she can access. Because with the exaltation of the sun in her being, if she were to walk into the Deadlands, even deep in the Deadlands, she would bring the sun with her, and the dead would perish. They would cease to be. No coming back from that at this point in creation. But she recovered in that moment. She vowed her revenge against Helios' injustice. And she stood up, grabbed her bag, and she started walking in the direction of the map. Something you may not... Oracle of Wisdom weighing the choice of telling you this now or not. Yeah, okay. When Helios struck the blinded sun with exaltation, when he gave her his divine power, he sealed the deal with fate that he would fall. You'll see how this all plays out in the future. She picked up her fucking bag, she cleaned off her face, and she started walking. She had many, many, many stories of the journey from her people to go with her. She knew landmarks, she knew synchronicities, if you will, that would occur as she got closer to shore. She walked for about a day and a half, 2 days, two of the sun's presences in the sky before she hit the first town. The normal town for that age, you know, trade and residence, a little bit of agriculture. She went around it. She didn't know what was going on there. She didn't want to. She walked through the forest. There were things in the forest, but they didn't smell or feel like the humans or the entities in the town, biped, whatever they are, residents. They're not all human. She had heard stories of humans, and she knew she was one of them. But she'd also heard stories of fairies, of monsters. She knew what Solar Exalted were. Part of her prophecy was to destroy many of the Solars, or to reform them. But I don't think she understood any of that then. But she did know what wild energy was, because she'd heard the stories. You know, there's a little bit of wild in the Deadlands. She walked through the woods. Something was there. She was not trained to fight. She was trained to fight, but she had never fought. Not for her life. She turned to face the sound, the energy that she sensed. And there was this young, green boy. He stood there, 10, 20 feet away from her, with his head cocked, leaning on a tree. She didn't mean to drop her guard, but she did. She was new at this adventuring thing. She found her voice. "What are you?" The green lad turned his head and cocked it the other way, and replied, "What are you?" She gave him her name, and he gave her his. Hesitantly, they walked towards each other, both of them with an eyebrow up, you know, that kind of vibe. And they forced a handshake. At that point, they both dropped their guard completely. And the young fairy, sapling, if you will, I think his name was Branch. His name that you guys could get. We're just going to call him, I want to call him Switch, but that seems ridiculous. The sound of the leaves in the wind is what his name was. Wind through leaves, I guess we'll refer to him as in this way. I'll just call him Leaves. Yeah, Leaves it is. Sorry, like I said, I've never told story out loud before. So Leaves explodes with words, and the Blinded Sun is shocked. For one, it's the first organic, like, alive thing that she's ever known. And it's only been a few minutes she's known it. But it breathes. It's vibrating in a different way than her people did. It's warm. It's extremely warm being in its presence. Almost like a fire. Leaves stops talking, looks at her. And then asks, "You speak common, right?" "Not that fast," she replied. They laughed. They sat down after some short communication. She told him where she was going. He laughed again. He made a fire. She had no real desire for fire, but he showed her how that all worked in warmth, and she had some provisions in her bag. He showed her some different types of things on the fourth floor that she could eat. And they spent a few days getting to know each other. They were kids. They were having a fun kid camp-out party. And it was fun. I'm going to end this here because the next phase is completely different from this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will continue this tomorrow because I'm not ready to go any further than this. This is a good place to stop. Thank you for joining us.